Hi everyone, this is CalignoBot, going to bring you another new Let's Play, this time of Kamidori Alchemy Meister. This is a pretty interesting game. I've spent somewhere around 200 hours in this game before, and not a whole lot else to say. There are standard options here. I already went through this beforehand, it's all good. New Shawley's room. This has all the extra stuff. CGs. Also has a bunch of scenes that we'll get later on. This is a hentai game, so there will be a lot of scenes that I will be cutting out. A lot of those BGMs, etc, etc. Nothing interesting here. Got a bunch of stories here. Just explaining how these go. They're basically just extra stuff that flesh out some of the characters a little bit, but we will not be doing that right now, mainly because it is spoiler-tastic. So, they're important later on. I'll be going through them. Just start a new game here. I'm going to set the difficulty to normal, and the extra dungeons will be off. Not going to be able to go through them anyway, so it's not that relevant. Let's begin the game. Go through the introduction. So it's just going to explain the world right now. I am just going to skip through this. Basically, Uedora is an alchemist-based area. They used to be ruled by a monarchy. Somewhere around 10 years ago, they rebelled, and then they rebelled and became their own little area, and they've been technologically advancing ever since. And our main character, Wilfred, he is going to take his test in order to become an alchemist today. Laguna here is his best friend. He took the test last year and passed. Wilfred actually failed last year. So, that's where we're starting right now. Of course, Laguna is the proctor for the exam, so he's going to be the one testing us. We're just going to skip right through this. It's all not too important. I already gave you the general gist of what's going on. This is the tutorial dungeon. It's going to be a lot of what we're going to be doing in this game. Just general banter between them. This is your victory and defeat conditions. Victory, pass your examination, obvious. Can't really become an alchemist unless you pass the exam. Defeat, 30 turns pass, that's up here in the top right corner. If you end up hitting 30 turns, you will automatically lose. If Wilfred ever dies, then you lose. And if you lose control of your home base, which is what Wilfred is standing on, you also lose. That is a defeat condition in every single map you go to, so don't ever lose control of that base. So, just going to move forward. Not gonna teach me. So what we're supposed to be doing is finding a good bone for embossing. That is the entire test to become an alchemist. This right here is a deployment gate. The home base is where you can send in units in order to help out your party that's already there. Deployment gate does the same thing. You can also withdraw your units as well. So, that green slime down there is a monster. We'll get to that in a minute. This thing right here, it heals your units. Heals their health, their SP, and their fatigue stat. Fatigue is what you use in order to move. So, go down here. Got a portal over there. Just fight these green potatoes right now. See, these aren't very difficult. Get items for defeating them as well. We'll go over that later. Just more banter between Wilfred and Laguna. Nothing too important. I will just continue on. This right here is a harvest point. These are how you get resources in order to build stuff later on. Just gives you a certain amount, and it's not... It won't tell you what you get until you defeat the dungeon, so... Find as many of these as possible as you can. Defeat this guy. The way control works in this game is each room has its own zone of control, and if your units are the only ones inside that zone, then you take it over completely. And there are enemies that will have their own zones of control later on, but enemies like this one down here, if they are the only ones in a zone and you have control over parts of that zone, they will not fully take it over. It's very important to know. So take care of that portal and go over here. This up here is treasure. Will always be good. Always get stuff out of them. Down behind the bat is a card. It could be either good or bad. It's basically a gamble. We're going to take out this bat here. Oh. And Wilfred almost fails his exam by giving him a fang that's not good enough, which is what this is basically saying. So, let's go. Move on. And this particular card gave us a little bit of health, SP, and fatigue. This is a hidden area. Certain people will be able to find it. I believe if someone has the adventurer stat, they will be able to find those. Take another deployment gate. And let's go fight this wolf here. The Greyhound. This is the boss of the area. So, it's going to be a little bit tougher than the green potatoes we've been fighting. So, I'm not actually sure if I'll be able to beat him as I am now, so I'm going to go in here, use this Azure Fruit to heal myself. And I'm going to go fight him back. Oh, got a lucky critical hit, so I guess it wasn't really necessary. There we go, this is the level up screen. The stats you gain are fairly random, and of course I end up getting only 1 health and nothing else, which is terrible. Anyway, so Wilfred hands over the Fang, and that's it. That's the end of this area. Valuation I'll go over later. Yeah, this is more banter. Nothing too important. Wilfred is just freaking out. Oh, this is mildly important. This is one of the main characters of the game. I feel like I need to increase something. Text, auto advance delay. I think it's lowering the delay that works. There we go. Yep, there we go. So this being a usually game, pretty much all the girls in the game are voice and none of the males are. Usually is weird like that. Anyway, this is our first meeting with Emelita, is her name. We'll be seeing her a bit later on. So, nothing too important going on here. Literally nothing but just a little bit of banter with Emelita. Establishing that she exists, of course. It's pretty much all that's going on. This is Tian, who is somewhat important. He gives you a bunch of quests eventually. And yeah. He's a little bit of a dick in New Game Plus, so that's all I know about him. He's another one of the main characters, who is Serawi. all that's really going on in this scene is she asks for directions and he gives her directions. Once again, just establishing that she exists. So, just explaining how workshops work. Basically, you have to be registered with the Alchemist Guild in order to practice alchemy legally. And the workshop size is entirely based on your rank. So if you have a workshop that's bigger than your rank allows, then you're gonna have problems. There we go. Laguna telling us to get a guard, and telling us that we passed. Alright. I'm obviously just going to skip to the important part. Oh, here's Emelita. Again. This also isn't very important. There we go. Just banter. She knows who Wilfred is already. That will be explained further in her route. I'm not going to go for her route in the beginning. Anyway. So Wilfred is incredibly nervous. So Rosanna is a little bit of a hard ass. Clearly. There we go. I'm not going to skip this part. So it really shows both Wilfred and Rosanna's character. Not a whole lot I can say about this. Actually, I can talk a little bit about Yuidora's government. So Yuidora, of course, is an alchemist city. The alchemy is the main part of what makes a city tick. So the Lord of Alchemy is the one who rules this city as Yuidora's lord, and that happens to be Lady Rosanna, who is going to show up momentarily here. And the Lord's workshop naturally is the biggest in the city, being the highest ranked alchemist in Yuidora, and believe it or not, there is actually a bunch of ranks that are in the Yuidora Guild, and the highest one has never ever been reached. So yeah, here's Rosanna. She looks really old, and yet has no wrinkles whatsoever, which is fantastic. Anyway, the highest ranked is called Meister, which of course is in the name, and no one has ever reached it before. No one even knows how good at alchemy you have to be in order to reach it, so. Anyway, Rosanna is testing Wilfred here for right now. Yep, there we go. He realizes it. This is one CG you'll be seeing a decent amount occasionally. It's one that you will see at the beginning of every single chapter. So, spoiler alert, the chapters are based on what rank Wilfred is. Anyway. So, about Meister. I think that's about all there is to say about that, I guess. Because there's not a whole lot that's really going on here. Rosanna's just lecturing Wilfred, of course. Apparently being an alchemist is very tough in these times. There we go. Just more idle explanation of an alchemist's life. There's Wilfred. This being his entire dream is crazy. Crazy about it. Anyway, we get more stuff. Wilfred just gets a whole bunch of free stats every time he gets a new rank, so that's a little bit ridiculous. Get a bunch of stuff. Now I'm officially an alchemist. And here's the important one. What kind of alchemist does Wilfred want to be? And as you could probably tell, that was not a very good answer. And yeah. Wilfred, not very pleasant about that. Alright. They're explaining Meister here. Just basically saying what I said. No one has ever reached Meister. No one knows how to do it. So that feels a little bit arbitrary. And here is one of the biggest indicators of Wilfred's personality at this point. Just rushes right back in and gives a different answer, of course. There we go. Yeah. Of course, Wilfred just called her old, so she threw him out. He's a little bit awkward. Which makes it even weirder that he gets this massive harem later on, but we'll get into that later on. Let's just skip the rest of this. None of this is too important. So, this is important. So this is introducing Yuela, who is a swordsman. She wants someone to restore the magic in her sword. So she's looking for workshops that are not licensed. I don't actually remember why specifically. Oh, she cannot pay for it, that's why. So Yuela is the third primary character in the game. And Emelita, Serawi, and Yuela are the three girls that have routes in this game. So basically what happens here is Wilfred tries to help her by going to Rosanna. Rosanna says no. She says that he should try to do it himself. So basically what happens is Wilfred hires Yuela as his guard in return for restoring her sword, which we cannot do right away. And Laguna coming in basically just said, go talk to people. That's pretty much it. Anyway, this is the main map screen for Yuidora. Gonna be spending a little bit of time in here. There's a bunch of stuff we can do in the map right now. Let's go home first. Just a tutorial on how to manage a workshop. I already know how to do that. Wait, this is the workshop screen. Characters with stars on them have stuff to say. Just all kinds of menus here. And nothing too big going on here right now, though. And I already know how to do all that. Move tutorial. I need to figure out how to remove that thing. I should probably just not use the auto advance at all. there a hotkey for that at all? I don't know. I'll probably figure that out eventually, if there is one. Anyway, let's go talk to Hannah at the church. Hannah is basically your shop in this game for the church. No, that's okay. I already know how the church works. Can't buy a whole lot of stuff here right now. There are ways to get more stuff for sale later on. Mostly in New Game Plus, so we're not gonna get to there for a while. You can also sell your stuff, and Uncursed, we'll get into that a little bit later on. Basically, some weapons cannot be removed once you equip them, so you have to either get a scroll to unequip them or come here. Anyway, I'm not going to buy anything here right now. No real point to, and I don't have a whole lot of money. Hannah basically said that she might rely on us later on, which is true. So, that's spoiler alert. Anyway, let's go visit Laguna. And Wilfred is just being a smartass. Being an alchemist takes a lot of work and dedication, so yeah, Laguna is amazed that Wilfred can just go visit him like this. Anyway, this is the arena. Basically, you can go here in order to fight a bunch of battles and get some free stuff out of it. Some of them are really easy. Some of them are absurdly hard. We'll probably be going into this in Emelita's route more. And yeah, this is an ecchi game, so of course we're gonna have the tit jiggles. Anyway, this is Jane. She runs the arena. Nope, don't need to know what the arena does, I already know. So you need 3 people to fight in battles. And of course I only have 2, considering I only have myself and Yuela. So I can't even go there if I tried. So now that we've gone through all 3 of these areas over here on the left side of the map, we can now go to the bar and talk to Tian. And basically for Tian, he just gives you a quest to create something. This is a pink dye. And now you can go out of the city to go to a new area in order to get the stuff for the pink dye. There we go. Just banter here, nothing important. You can also go to the mine up here. It has a bunch of areas that we'll unlock later on. Nothing important there right now. So let's leave the city. With the woodland, peaceful grounds. Of course, this being the first area, it's going to be really easy. More banter, nothing important. So, in order to win, we need to collect all... claim all the collection points. So, I'm just going to explore for right now. We can have Yuela go fight the monsters. Yuela is probably the single best character in the game, except for maybe some New Game Plus characters later on. But she is probably going to be your bread and butter unit for your first playthrough at least. Wilfred, he's not that great early on, but he becomes pretty excellent. But Yuela and Wilfred are both only melee, so it's a little bit tough against those wisps. And of course, Yuela just took a whole bunch of free damage for no reason. And I can't even go fight that wisp right now, but I think its attack is only 2 radius, so if I go up here, I don't think it can hit me. We'll see. There's another hidden passage here. There's probably a collection point in there. can see, Yuela's really strong. Of course. Anyway, let's go see if we can find this wisp. There it is. Yeah, I don't want to fight that right now. Harvest point. Like I said before, harvest points, you only collect a certain amount of items per harvest point, and you don't actually know what they are until it ends. Until the mission ends, so... Let's see... Oh, the wisp is retarded, decided to attack Yuela in melee, so... I'm just gonna destroy it. Mostly just gonna try to get experience for right now. Because there's a decent amount of level grinding in this game if you aren't careful about what you're doing. I want to minimize that as much as possible. We got, that's the deployment gate. There's another harvest point. And that's about it. That is our first area complete. We just know a little bit more about Yuela. She's really, really diligent in her duties. She's not social at all. I think this is somewhat important. I think this is Serawi coming in. Is it? Yep, it's Serawi. And of course, Yuela, being very diligent as a guard and not social in the slightest, she comes out with the sword swinging, metaphorically. Serawi Endos. So Serawi doesn't join us quite yet. It's going to be a little bit before she does. Oh, and here's Emelita. She was also watching us. Of course, that's hinting that she is also going to be joining us as well. So, one thing you might notice is that on the bottom left, there was a last settlement bar. It currently says 2 days. That means we were gone for 2 days. That becomes important because, well, I thought it would actually show us as soon as we got here, but no such luck. It shows us, well, for every day that you are gone, you have to pay a certain amount, which is right here. So you pay $5 in guild dues, $9 in workshop upkeep, and $8 in household expenses a day. Since we were gone for 2 days, we doubled that. And that's just for keeping our workshop. So, let's see what Yuela has to say. Of course, Wilfred, also incredibly trusting, which could be bad if this was any other game. But light pink dye is what we have to craft, so we're going to do one of those. Okay, it takes a red mushroom and a white grass. All this stuff we'll be going into a lot more later on. Not going to create any of these yet. Or that, or these. Actually, what is Wilfred holding right now? No, I want to see what Wilfred has. Okay, so that will be an upgrade. Actually, I will make Yuela's weapon, because she is a better unit right now. So, Yuela, use a sword, get an extra strength. That's, of course, the sword that she wants Wilfred to enchant, so it's not very good right now. Anyway, I'm going to stop this right here. Thank you guys for watching. I will see you next time.